Hello everybody. So here I am, Dr. Ekta Jain Sethi, and I've come up with the next video. These are short videos, 30-minute videos in which we take up different themes for sociology optional, different topics which are there for your UPSC sociology optional paper. And the aim is to deal with them in brief. Aim is to give you an outline of the topics and explain you what that topic is all about. However, again, these are in brief. The actual work, the actual details have been discussed in the course. The course details will be shared in the section below. So this course is formulated keeping in mind the course structure for UPSC, the course structure of sociology optional for UPSC. So we are covering the entire course. We have divided into unit wise. We are taking up all the topics. The classes generally end up with a discussion of a different set of questions in each class. So by the end, once you have completed, like say paper 1, and then before you move on to paper 2, you have a very good set of questions with you, right? So you have a set of questions dealing with the topics, as well as you have a set of questions in terms of how the paper is presented. So the aim is not only to prepare you in terms of content, not only to prepare you in terms of understanding the concept, but also in terms of writing the concept. Yeah, because I truly believe that writing is in fact the more important bit. Writing is the more important bit when you're talking about sociology, and when you're talking about these competitive examinations. So having said that, in the earlier classes, what we have been doing till now is basically we began with Durkheim. We've discussed Durkheim in brief, and today we will continue with it. So till now, I think uh, till now I've been talking about Durkheim in context of social fact. So I don't know if you haven't, please do catch the earlier video in which we have discussed social fact. And now we are going to take his one of the major contributions of Durkheim, and that is division of labor. Right, so if you all remember, and you can always take a look back at the previous video, when we are talking about social fact, there are certain conditions that Durkheim tells us about social fact, right? So he will talk about social fact being external. He'll talk about social facts being general, and he will talk about social fact being coercive. So this is important when we are talking about Durkheim. So Durkheim tells you that sociology का task क्या है? What is sociology supposed to do? We feel that sociology is about studying society, it is about studying everything. But in this sense, according to Mr. Durkheim, if you start studying everything, sociology will lack the ethos of being a science. It has to be more organized, it has to be more defined, it has to be more clear, right? So Durkheim was one of the first sociologists, and I've told you this before, he was one of the first sociologists who tried to define sociology, who tried to give the subject matter of sociology, and he tried to create sociology on the lines of science, right? So like the earlier thinkers like say Comte or Spencer, even he was in favor of making sociology similar to science. The difference is there in terms of like जहाँ Comte and Spencer ने बोला कि भाई sociology को science होना है, आगे का क्या? So Durkheim ने हमें आगे का बताया. He told us, he gave us the methodology, he gave us examples to use that methodology. So methodology would be his social fact. So he talked about social fact. He said that okay, social fact is what sociology should study. So firstly, subject matter, content defined हो गया. Now he also used this methodology. So in maybe like at some point of time, I'll be able to talk about Weber, Max Weber, and Weber, I'll tell you that he uses Verstehen. Like he doesn't use it. He gives us the methodology of Verstehen, interpretive methodology. However, the problem in Weber is that he never uses it, right? And Durkheim has given the methodology, he has applied this methodology. So when you talk about division of labor, when you talk about suicide, when you talk about religion, these are few areas in which you will feel that he has actually used social fact. So all of these, according to Durkheim, are social facts. All right. So in that sense, Durkheim becomes the most a clear-cut sociologist. He's actually using what he's preaching, right? So now to begin with division of labor. So division of labor, firstly, according to Durkheim, will be a social fact. right? So let's see, division of labor satisfying all the conditions, right? If we talk about division of labor, and in short we can say DOL, it is satisfying all the conditions of social fact. It is general, it's not particular to a society, it's not particular to a group, it's external, like you can it's visible to you in a manifested form. It's not something in terms of emotions or feelings. Division of labor is very much physical, say in terms of how offices are built. So the senior most person will have a very big office, will have a private cabin. People who are at a lower level might be working together, they might have cubicles to work. People who are actually at the grassroots level, at the floor level, at the basic level, they are working in the factory as labor. So you have different kinds of workspaces according to your different how the work has been divided according to division of labor. So there are different ways in which division of labor is visible. So of course it is general, it is exterior, and also division of labor holds a coercive power on individual according to Durkheim, right? So now we'll see what his concept of division of labor was all about, how he actually discusses this. So one of the people who is important to Durkheim in this context will be Adam Smith. Adam Smith and his work Wealth of Nations. Now Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, he's basically an economist, right? So he has also talked about division of labor. However, Smith, being an economist, he talks about economic division of labor. All right. So Durkheim takes from Smith. However, he's using this concept of division of labor in sociology. So he's applying everything to sociology. He's talking about it in sociological perspectives, unlike Smith. However, yes, he has been influenced by Adam Smith in this for this contribution at least. Now, when you talk about division of labor, how do you understand division of labor? Let's see. We can say it is basically splitting. Let me write this quickly for you. Splitting up of activity in different parts, and each part being taken care of by different people. So for example, you have to make a table, right? Now this is one work, right? Making a table is one work, but this one work will be divided into different parts. So somebody is making the legs of the table, somebody is making the top of the table, somebody is putting it all together, somebody is painting it, somebody is polishing it, somebody is giving it, is designing it, is doing something else on it, right? So this entire activity, this entire work of making a table has actually been divided into different activities in different parts, right? And different people are taking care of these different parts. Very simple. This is something which we see everywhere. How do you see division of labor in a restaurant? So there will be one team who's actually just involved in washing of vegetables. There will be somebody who's just involved in, say, cutting of vegetables. There's somebody who's involved in keeping in decorating the tables, in putting in the serving of food, and there's somebody who's actually going to cook, right? So there is division of labor everywhere in that sense. So the cause of division of labor, now how Durkheim sees this division of labor over time and in societies from simple to complex, from traditional to modern, is basically in terms of, he sees that in simple societies, the primitive societies, that is, they were segmented societies, right? So they existed as segments. As segments means they were self-sufficient, right? Whatever is happening within one segment, they were more or less satisfied with it. You know, everything sab aapas mein ho jata tha, right? There was self-sufficiency. Gradually what happened, with time, population increased. Okay, with time population increased. Once population increased, communication began. Once communication began, by communication we mean interaction began, right? So interaction began. Once all of these things began, so earlier imagine in a society there was one doctor. Now by interaction, communication, there was someone else also who felt, yeah, even I can be a doctor. Somebody else also thought, even I can be a doctor. So now there are 3-4 doctors, right? Now how are these 3-4 doctors going to exist, right? There has to be something which makes them exist, right? What do we know about it? Survival of the fittest. That best doctor will exist, right? Either the best doctor will exist, either some doctor will go for a specialization, right? So earlier they were all doctors. Now one of them has actually become a heart specialist, one of them have become a neurosurgeon, one of them has become an ENT, right? One of them is a general physician, right? So all of them have gone for their specialization. Somebody has actually left the field of being a doctor and turned to something else entirely. He's turned into a DJ, right? So with population increase, you need to find different ways of survival, right? And because of this interaction, because of these coming up of new activities, because of specialization, you see division of labor in a more complex form, right? So it is basically this specialization which is leading to division of labor according to Durkheim. So if I have to put it in a very simplistic way, you can say that primitive society um, is segmented. So in segmented society, what exists is mechanical solidarity, right? Everyone is bound to each other in a genuine manner, like you do not need any external factors. It is a mechanical solidarity because it's a simple society. Gradually population increase. So for Durkheim, population increase is a major factor, right? Population increase, there will be more interaction increases, there will be more material and moral density, right? There will be more thought, there will be more discussion. So basically the material and moral density of the society has also increased. Yes, now people will start looking for newer activities, right? They'll start looking for newer activities. What we can understand this as, basically it will lead to struggle for existence. Basically it is going to lead to struggle for existence. Now with this, basically this is going to lead to either the fittest will survive, the best doctor is going to survive, right? Or this would lead to specialization. Either somebody will start specializing, either you become the best doctor, so you will survive, either you start turning towards specialization. So this is basically, we can see all this is going to lead to occupational specialization. And this occupational specialization, according to Durkheim, is actual cause of division of labor. Alright, I hope this is clear to everyone how we see division of labor. It's very simple if you look at it in these terms. It is a primitive society. Primitive society is bound by mechanical solidarity. Everybody knows everyone, there is self-sufficiency, population increase हुआ, interaction हुआ, greater moral material density हुआ, wherein you have started discussing, you started interacting, right? Then because now you need to look for newer activities. This is activities. Now you start looking for newer activities. Basically there is a struggle for existence. Now because of this struggle for existence, either the fittest one is going to survive, either you are also going to lead to specialization. By the end, all of this is going to lead to occupational specialization, right? And with occupational specialization, there will be division of labor. So this is basically what Durkheim talks about in terms of division of labor. And now in complex societies, in modern societies where population has increased, now you will see this division of labor happening due to organic solidarity, right? So from mechanical solidarity, now we see organic solidarity. So now people are bound together. However, now these are not segmented societies. So there is a different kind of solidarity which comes up, and that is organic solidarity. However, division of labor is important because it is due to division of labor that people are bound together, right? So people are bound together. So can you exist, like imagine a society in which there is every profession, like there are teachers, there are engineers, there are builders, everybody is there, but there is no doctor, right? so you need all of them. You are dependent on everyone. So one society is going to be dependent on someone else. So there is interdependency now. Earlier you were in segmented societies, you were self-sufficient. Now there is interdependency, right? So now this interdependency, this specialization, because if I need to see an eye surgeon, I need to see an eye surgeon. My work shall not happen just by going to a heart specialist, right? It will not serve my purpose. So even though a heart specialist is existing in my same community, I will go beyond that, right? I will go to the eye surgeon, because that is my need. So now we are all bound together, we are together because of this specialization of labor. So in that sense, division of labor is doing what? It is actually leading to integrity, right? It is actually leading to integrity. So over time we see this mechanical solidarity decreasing and organic solidarity increasing. So if this is the bar for time, this can be seen as mechanical solidarity, and this can be seen as organic solidarity. Solidarity shall always exist, right? Division of labor is there. Solidarity is always existing. Earlier it was simple division of labor. Now it is complex, because division of labor is what is keeping society together, according to Durkheim, right? So now that is one thing that Durkheim talks about. Another thing that Durkheim says, and Durkheim, we know he's a functionalist. I've already told you that he's a functionalist. So he will look at division of labor. He will look at everything from a functional perspective, right? So according to Durkheim, when he is talking about it, he will say that division of labor is actually inducing functional interdependence, right? And it is responsible for organic character of society. So in this sense, division of labor becomes important for us, right? They become functional for us. It is because of division of labor that societies are existing, right? So that is one thing that Durkheim again talks to us about. Now, having said that, even though he is a functionalist, Durkheim is one thinker who, being a functionalist, will also give you a space for anomie, right? So he says that there are times when this division of labor might actually be abnormal, right? And that is one of the biggest contributions of Durkheim. So he will talk of anomie, he will talk of normlessness, he will talk of abnormality, right? And that is important. So he will also talk about anomic division of labor. Here he will talk anomic division of labor. Now what happens basically in anomic division of labor? For example, something like forced labor, right? Something like forced division of labor is actually anomic division of labor, because that is not leading towards integration of society. Here you have a situation of normlessness, right? There are no norms. Society is not able to integrate, society is not able to regulate, and that is why forced labor is existing. So forced labor can be seen as an example of anomic division of labor. And according to Durkheim, with certain changes in the matrix, with the certain changes in the culture, this forced labor, this kind of a situation can turn back into normal situation, right? So while when Marx is talking about all these things, Marx will say that you need an overthrow of order, right? To end exploitation, the proletariat need to overthrow the bourgeois. According to Durkheim, this overthrow of existing order is a little too far. So he is saying नहीं हमको revolution तक जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है Marx. What we can do is थोड़े बहुत changes हम fabric में लाओ, थोड़े बहुत changes like लोगों को आप incentives दो, लोगों को आप bonus दो, लोगों को आप better working conditions दो, appraisals दो, तो उन सब से that exploitation can be handled, right? So you do not need an entire overthrow of order as such. With certain changes, things can get back to normal. So similarly for division of labor also, he will be saying that With certain changes in the system, things can get back to normal. You do not need an overthrow of order, because otherwise all these concepts are functional for society. So until unless something is being dysfunctional, why would we change it, right? So in fact, there's a very interesting statement. So he says that while we like those who resemble us, we are also drawn towards those who are different precisely because they are different. Remember the idea of opposites attract, right? So he'll say that of course you are always with people who are similar to you. Similarity is always there, but this division of labor has created difference, right? And this difference is important. This difference keeps you together, right? You also want to be with the difference, right? So that is the nature that he is talking about, the nature of society. Now, so in this sense, we see that he's talked about division of labor in an evolutionary manner. He's talking about society in an evolutionary manner. This is also because be it Comte, be it Spencer, be it Durkheim, all these are thinkers who look at society in an evolutionary perspective, right? So even Durkheim is going to look at it in terms of simple model, simple as in segmented societies, right? Modern as in complex societies. So here you will have mechanical solidarity, and here you have organic solidarity. So being an evolutionary thinker, he has here you have simple division of labor. Here there is specialized division of labor. Alright. So that is about Durkheim, that he is talking about it, all these things in an evolutionary perspective. Now another important thing that Durkheim says and does is basically he's which you need to know from the perspective of division of labor, that he's going beyond economic. So he's going beyond what Adam Smith has told you. He's actually including the social. He's also not confined it only to the occupational bit. He has taken it to each and every aspect of social life, that how we need everyone, how all the institutes, family, education, political system, all of them work together because of this division of labor. They are all interdependent units. So he's going to talk to you about all these things, okay? Now, having said that, having discussed Durkheim's contribution in terms of division of labor, Durkheim has also criticized, right? So, of course, first and foremost, the general criticism भी है Durkheim का, of course, he's criticized for being functional, for being too functionalist, right? So, he's going to look at division of labor also in functional ways. So, he, unlike Marx, he does not see the need for revolution. So, firstly, that's one of the criticisms, especially coming from conflict theorists. Again, another one, like say by Goodlock. Now Goodlock, what Goodlock did was he said that Durkheim, and let me write this again for you, Durkheim misinterpreted system integrity and interdependence as social integrity. Firstly this, and then please write one more, that is by Malinowski, and again it's an important one, that is Durkheim equated division of labor with human progress. Now let me explain you what do we mean by these basically. So according to Goodlock, Durkheim basically, he's seeing all this interdependence, he's seeing this unity. However, this is the system integrity, that all the systems have to work together. This cannot be imputed to the humans. So somewhere this he equated the system integrity with social integrity, which is a major fault. According to Malinowski, Durkheim saw this division of labor from being simple to complex, from being in segmented society to a specialized division of labor, from a simple division of labor to a specialized division of labor. Durkheim saw this in terms of human progress. Right, he's talking about this in an evolutionary perspective, right? So this is again problematic. According to Malinowski, division of labor is not cannot be seen as a cannot be resembling human progress, right? That just because हम simple division of labor से बहुत complicated division of labor पे पहुंच गए, that does not mean that societies have progressed, right? That is what Malinowski is thinking, right? So even Malinowski has been criticized for his perspectives, his ideas. Yes. Yes. So even Malinowski has been criticized for his ideas. However, however, he's telling us that Durkheim equated division of labor with human progress, and that cannot be seen in this manner. So, thus, if we look at the entire thing, we know what division of labor is according to Durkheim. You've seen that how division of labor was seen in terms of Marx and Durkheim. So at times there are questions in which you have to compare the concept of division of labor with Marx and Durkheim, right? So in Marx we saw that he's talking about overthrow of order, he's talking about exploitative division of labor. For Durkheim we know that division of labor has been functional, division of labor has been fruitful. Right, so that's one major. That's like they've both seen the same context, same concept in really vastly different terms. Also, in terms of that's one thing about division of labor for Durkheim. Another thing that he's talking about division of labor in functional terms. Then he's talking about division of labor in an evolutionary manner. He's talking about division of labor as moving from simple to modern, from segmented societies to specialized division of labor. Right, and all of this is happening somewhere. Initially we are all living in self-sufficient groups, self-sufficient societies. Gradually with population increase, new things have come up, new activities have come up, we start interacting more, we start communicating more, new activities come up. With all this new things coming up, you need there is a need felt for specialization, there is a need felt for excelling at things, for basically your survival. Right, for your survival you need to go towards specialization, and this specialization is actually the code for division of labor. Right, again when you look at all of this, division of labor can thus be seen as a social fact. So for example, if you have a question on Durkheim, let me see if we have anything here. So here, so in the very fourth question, if you see, so this is basically you have to compare Karl Marx with Emile Durkheim with reference to the framework of division of labor, which we have just discussed. Explain Durkheim's theory of division of labor and how is it relevant in present day context. Again, very interesting that how do you see division of labor in the present day context. Okay, and here let me take you through this chart of here you have mechanical solidarity, organic solidarity. They are both leading to social integration, but it is because of homogeneity, remember, and this is because of interdependence. Interdependence can happen when members are different, while in mechanical you have homogeneity. There are similar members, here they are different. This is in pre-modern, this is modern. There is less interdependence here, there is more interdependence here. Minimum division of labor, complex division of labor. So that is how we see mechanical solidarities and organic solidarity of Durkheim. Division of labor, a very important work, classical work of Durkheim, 1893, and it is he's talking about solidarity. So solidarity in terms of unity means unity, and this he's showing through division of labor. So all this is covered here. Moving on, here you have mechanical solidarity, organic solidarity, how the two characterizes the two very different forms of societies. That is here. As I was saying, organic solidarity, here we have discussed the table in brief. The dysfunctions of division of labor, if we quickly have to go through it, you know, there is efficiency when there is better division of labor. It helps it helps heterogeneity to grow because there is interdependence. There is solidarity, there is it leads to even if there is an increase in population, it can lead to their peaceful existence, right? And then laws are more reformative. Now that's one thing, laws are more reformative in organic solidarity, in more complex division of where there is more complex division of labor, while in simple societies laws are more restitutive, right? Wherein you want to the violence of anything, violence of any kind, deviance from any norm may lead to more stringent action, because these are simple societies, right? In modern societies, even if you violate some norm, the punishments are simple. It depends on what kind of violation is there. In simple societies, any kind of violation, because you are in such a tightly made group and you are bound by these cultural norms and values to this extent that if you violate any, there would be there would be restitutive laws, which are repressive laws, which are actually very stringent, okay, in simple, and in a restitutive in the organic ones. So here these are basically some dysfunctions, and then we have suicide. So this is from my side when we are talking about division of labor for all of you, and hopefully in another video we'll be taking up a different theme and we'll be elaborating over that. And please, again, having said that, do check the course. All these things are being done in very brief, just to give you an intro to these different topics about UPSC, about a competitive examination, and hoping that you will be getting a gist of these things from these videos. But do check the course and do visit us on the website and see what more is there. And all the best to all of you. Signing off, Dr. Ekta Jain Sethi. Thank you.